Hey guys, so welcome to our lower limb basics program. I just have a couple of minute video just to explain with a quick graph and a couple of figures around what we're trying to achieve from this program. Regardless of who you are, I think you can take a lot out of this program, and we'll look at how it applies to different people at different times. So if we look at a graph and we call like the top of the graph up here a high level of activity, which might be for anyone, it might be for someone, it might be running, it might be playing sport, or whatever your chosen goal. If we just put our chosen goal up here. Now, some of you might be operating already at that goal. You might be a soccer player, a rugby player, a weightlifter. You might already be operating on a daily basis or a weekly basis up here. Whereas some other people might be injured or in pain and they're not operating up here. Regardless of who you are, we still should have a good grasp of the basics so that if you're already working up here, you can be more efficient and more optimal and less likely to get injured. Or if you're not working up here because you're already in pain, then this program is going to help you to get towards that up there, okay? So two different types of people really are doing this program. The exercises are the same because more than likely, I'm going to be honest here, you kind of suck at a lot of the basics. So we're going to improve the basics so everything else improves, okay? So if we look at a basic loading thing, so here's running, here's your activity up here. If you want to be able to run, I'm just taking running for example, you should be able to probably leap and bound and jump and stuff like that, because running is going to be harder than that. And if you want to leap and bound and run and jump, you probably should be able to lift weight at least to some kind of level, do some kind of squat or some kind of lunge with a little bit of weight and maybe a little bit of speed, a little bit of load involved. Okay? Now, if you want to be able to do any of these things, we should have good control of our body in standing with no weight, or maybe with a little bit of weight. If we want to have the right to even get standing, then I have some exercises along the floor that I would like every single person to be able to do and do well, and I guarantee you'll struggle with them. And if we want to be good on the floor and have any right to really start to load our muscles in certain ways, then we should have range of motion, and really range of motion, I probably should say control of our joints. So be able to control my pelvis, be able to control my knee and my foot and all these different joints and how they work together. Okay, so the basics of this program is working on the range of motion and control, particularly around the pelvis and the rib cage. And you might say, well, what does the rib cage have to do with the lower limb or the leg or whatever? And I'll just tell you that you're going to have to trust me that the rib cage and the pelvis have a huge relationship with each other, and no matter who the athlete is, the better they can move and control the rib cage and the pelvis, then in my opinion they're much less likely to have a knee injury, a hip impingement. They're going to have more range of motion around the hips. They're probably going to have better and stronger hamstrings. So this is really important. So big focus is pelvis and rib cage in this program, and that's going to be the start of every day that we work on. We're going to have a couple of things that work on the control of your pelvis and your rib cage, okay? And maybe a little bit around the feet as well. We're also going to have some exercises that make you very strong on the floor, and I'm looking forward to a lot of you being humbled, even if you can squat 200 kilos, or if you can't, or if you can, or even if you struggle to walk up the stairs without pain, you're going to be humbled by some of the work that we do here, and it's going to help you a lot when you nail that work. And then we're going to try and take the strength that we've developed on the floor and the range of motion and the control of the pelvis and the rib cage, and bring it into standing for some kind of lower level exercises. No matter who you are, I'm going to have a couple of little options that you can do that suits your level, okay? So between these three guys, we're trying to develop a lot of basics here, which makes all of this stuff much easier going forward. Some of you will need more help from me here, and here. Some of you might not need any help from me here, up there, but all of you need help here, and that's what we're going to work hard on. So just a couple of examples of different people here. So here we have a leg, and again my drawing is awful, but this is a foot, a knee, and a kind of a hip, a glute, a pelvis, all that area up here. So ideally, in a perfect world, which does not exist, and these are just rough demonstrations for just for explanation purposes. But in a perfect world, I have a leg that the foot does 20% of the work, the calf does 20%, the hamstring does 20%, the quads and all the muscles on the front do 20%, and the glutes and the hip and the pelvis do 20%. Nothing is doing too much work, nothing is not doing enough work, everything can move in the ways it needs to move, and you're much less likely to get one area overloaded or pain in one area or injured in one area. Okay? And when we see the best movers or anyone moving, this is what I kind of see. Everything just does its job. We might have someone that is operating a little bit more here. So the foot is only 5, the calf, the hamstring, the quad, and the glute is only 5. So we have 25% at the leg versus a potential 100%. This program is not going to take that person from there to there, but it might just take that person from here to 10% in all of those areas. And that's a big jump, because now you've gone from 25% to 50%, and you're going to feel a lot better and a lot stronger and a lot more confident in your movement, okay? The person that's at 10%, they might get towards 15%, okay? Then there's someone who's maybe already operating at the running or the heavy lifting or something like that, but they have a lot of pain in an area. And for them, they're already operating at their 100%. But it might look something like this, for example. My foot is doing 5, my calf is doing 5, my hamstring is doing 5, my glute is doing 5, and my knee, because this person has knee pain, is doing 80% of the work. Again, those numbers, I don't have a clue what those numbers are. We never will, but that's just a representation. And if I can get that person to get 10, 10, 10, 10, then I have 40 here, and maybe that knee pain, or not the knee pain, but the load that's going through the front of the knee might be down to 60% instead of 80%. So this is the goal of this program, get everything to do its job. And there's a reason why we're working on the exercises we are, because in my opinion, a lot of people are out there, they're going to physios and coaches, and they're doing 100 different exercises, and actually the basics that are here, the first few things, they don't get right, and nothing else works because of that. So that's our goal for this program. I hope you enjoy it.